and burn.
Hey everybody! So tonight I am looking to review the 1988 film from John Carpenter that is known as They Live. This again was, Jesus Christ, it's kind of ironic. I just took the Lord's name in vain and I was just going to reference the person who asked me if I could do a review of this, and their name is Bible Chick something something, a bunch of numbers at the end. So I probably shouldn't have taken the Lord's name in vain there, considering that this is a request of somebody who I imagine is faith-focused. So my apologies, but nevertheless, this is the request that I got. It's probably on the screen, or it's been on the screen or whatever. So yes, this is for Bible Chick with a bunch of numbers at the end of, I'm assuming, her name. Okay, so this movie, I've seen this movie a million times. I think everybody's seen this movie a million times. There's a lot to love, but then at the same time, I have a lot of problems with this movie too, because it does at times feel sort of unglued and disjointed. Like it's a bunch of like Frankenstein parts put together to create a movie. But the things that I love most about this movie, first and foremost, is I love how Nada, Roddy Piper's character, is this complete wanderer. And again, I'm doing this during Canada Day fireworks. I don't understand what people's obsession with fireworks are. It's just the sound of warfare. Like, listen to this. Like, Jesus Christ. Oh, again, probably shouldn't have said that. But come on, really? Just gunshots, basically, over and over again. But yeah, I mean, this movie is amazing because, you know, I've come here to kick ass and chew bubblegum and kick ass and I'm all out of bubblegum. Great line, and like, how can you not love once he puts the sunglasses on how it shows that it's telling them to consume and to fit in and to just sort of be normal, take over. And I mean, who hasn't thought that the 1% aren't doing that to the rest of us? I suppose you should probably say what the story is for the handful of people who still haven't seen this movie. So basically, yeah, Roddy Piper, he plays Nada. He's a drifter. He ends up getting some work at a construction site where he ends up meeting this dude Frank, played by Keith David. And they discover that the aliens and the humans have been working together for this group of aliens to come and take over Earth by using global warming in order to make the climate of Earth more like their planet, wherever they're from. And so, Jesus Christ, there's a lot of that's like the third time. It's like the third time I said Jesus Christ. Anyways, there are a lot of mosquitoes around tonight. But yeah, so they find out that there's some alien conspiracy to take over Earth, like I said, by using global warming to change the climate of this Earth to match theirs. And this is, if I'm not mistaken, this is based off a short story. I read it a million years ago. It's like 8 o'clock in the a.m. or 8 o'clock in the morning or some shit. It's from back in the 60s. I think it's from like 63 or 64. And Carpenter licensed the rights to the story, decided to get running with it, and he made this movie, which is, like, on one hand, it's incredibly fun. The fact that the alien invasion was so swift, and once you put the glasses on, you can see how they think, and everything goes more monochrome. And I love the way the aliens looked, too, especially at the end of the movie when the chick's having sex with him, and he's like, "What's wrong, baby?" You know? That was super fun. But my issue with this movie is that it just feels tacked on. Like, it feels like Frankenstein. Like, it's like Carpenter didn't have a good time making this movie or something, because like that fight scene between Frank and Nada, that just goes way too long. That runs way too long. And the whole time, like, Roddy Piper just wants Keith David to put on a pair of glasses. And of course, Keith David thinks Roddy Piper is a psycho, so he doesn't want to. And they get into this full-on WWF, and of course the F is relevant because this is the 80s, and that's still what the WWE was referred to at this point. They get into this WWF-styled sort of wrestling brawl, which I'm sure was fun for both of them, especially Keith David got to wrestle a wrestler, so that's really fun. But it's going on like it's a championship match between like Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan or something, and it goes on and on and on, and it just doesn't end. And I do find that seems to be my feelings regarding this movie overall. It just seems like so many scenes should have been 2 minutes instead of... Oh my God, my light died again. You'd think I was cursed or something, you know? Where's my other light? So, yeah, I'm going to keep talking in the dark. There's so many aspects of this movie that I absolutely love, but then at the same time, there's so many aspects of this movie that just don't make sense. Like, I mean, why would, like Holly, for example, why is she pushing so hard to help the aliens take over? It doesn't make sense to me. It's like she wasn't even that really high up on the human hierarchy of humans who were helping them. It seems like Holly, she's like a huge part of it too at the end. She kills Keith David, and then Roddy Piper ends up killing Holly, who's played by Meg Foster. But he's wounded by the helicopter that comes in, and then of course he dies, just as the rest of humanity is waking up and realizing that the aliens are here. And it just seemed like her character came out of nowhere. I know he kidnapped her, but she came out of nowhere, and it just so happens that the chick that he kidnaps is some big shot to do with the alien-human conspiracy. That just didn't make a lot of sense to me. That's how I feel about a lot of this movie. I liked the Western score, but then at the same time, I didn't love the Western score, because one of my favorite things about any John Carpenter movie is usually the score that accompanies it, that him and Alan Hallworth did. I mean, the score that he did for Prince of Darkness, for example, that's like one of the best scores ever. Like, I love how foreboding and just how drenched in terror that score is. And I do like how this has more of a drifter kind of cowboy feel to the score, which I think was the point, because again, Nada is a drifter and he's just kind of moving from place to place, and he is sort of like a modern cowboy of sorts, I suppose. But I didn't even really love the score. What I love about this movie is just the chaos. When like they end up in the place where all the aliens, the big like, what is the banquet hall near the end, and I love that just how big this movie is, and I love how that scene plays out. I didn't feel the end ran too long. The shootout and the big things at the end, I felt that they were timed perfectly, and the movie concluded efficiently enough, and I loved how the movie ended. But it just feels like parts of this movie just go on forever. Like the start of this movie, it feels like it takes forever to get up and running, and it's really not that deep of a movie. It's like, I get the same vibe from Prince of Darkness, but Prince of Darkness made sense because that was about Satan and the father of Satan or whatever taking over the world. And so a half an hour build up as like the opening being laid the way it is, like the groundwork story being laid during the incredibly long credit sequence at the start of Prince of Darkness. I mean, it wouldn't have made sense had the movie not had such a catastrophic potential outcome like that. There'd not been such an apocalyptic ending. Well, actually, no, wait. Prince of Darkness does end really badly. They just essentially staved it off for a bit by Jameson Parker's girlfriend there, pushing Pizza Face into the mirror. Because then when she comes back in 99, I think Satan takes over then. So, yeah. I guess Prince of Darkness didn't end all that well. But I've completely lost my train of thought now. How was I relating Prince of Darkness back to... That's right, I felt that the opening of They Live ran a little long, and I felt that the opening of Prince of Darkness would have been a little long had it not had such a massive implications for the fate of humanity. Not that They Live doesn't, but this movie just feels like it would have been better had it been treated sort of like a movie for kids. It's like he attempted to make like a teen gun fest for adults or something. Because, again, here comes that word disjointed again. It feels like part of They Live is for adults, part of They Live is for kids. And it feels like everyone's just going to kind of get lost somewhere because the movie isn't fully realized for one group or the other. And in that sense, like, this movie just kind of feels like a mess. As much fun as this movie is, this movie does kind of feel like I'm tossed into a blender. But I think that's... Which camera should I use? This one. I think that's where I'm going to leave it. I kind of went off the rails there in the middle, and I apologize for the lights going out constantly, but I'm getting out of here, so thank you so much for hanging out with me for a little over 9 minutes while I attempted to say something coherent about the 1988 film They Live. Like always, if you like this review, don't forget to go out and do something nice for somebody, but most importantly, like always, never forget that the world is... Jesus Christ, these fucking lights are dying on me. You're amazing. I'm getting out of here in the dark. See you guys around.